So we're talking Oregon. They win by just 20 at Northwestern, and they score just 34 points.
I love that it's 34-0 with 5 minutes to go, and we have to do an autopsy of the program.
Isn't that exactly what Lanning wanted, though?
It's exactly what he wanted.
This
is exactly what he wanted.
Absolute perfect thing he wanted.
Like without a
2
garbage
weeks before
touchdown,
Penn
they
State.
cover a 20. Like they cover the spread without
Game was
two
never
touchdowns in the
doubt.
last 5 minutes.
It was 7-0, and I went, well, they're going to win this game going away. This is exactly what he wanted. He wants to correct those mistakes at home this weekend against a team that is absolutely going to roll over and quit. They did in Lubbock. Why would they not in Eugene? And then he'll get to use this road fuel and say, hey, now you get to go to a real environment, play that way, and watch what happens. That score is going to be reversed on you. It couldn't have happened more perfect for a guy who runs on narratives and motivation and chip on shoulder stuff while also being a really good coach. Here was Dan Lanning on dealing with some of the adversity.
Yeah, good and bad. Like, there's going to be some film for us to be able to go back and really attack. And again, I think they had some good answers that we have to have a good plan for moving forward. I thought the energy on the sideline was really good. Just disappointed with the last couple drives on both sides of the ball. We kind of charted that throughout. We knew this was going to be a limited possession game with the way that they play football. They did a really good job of eating the clock. We got to take advantage of every series, right, on both sides of the ball. And at times we did that, at times we didn't. Ultimately, the demeanor on the sideline was great. The playing for each other was great. Guys were focused and attentive, but we just didn't finish the way that I want to finish.
He also talked about the offense not being as explosive in this one.
We had plenty of stuff set up, but again, I thought they defended it well. That defense is tough at times to create some of the explosives because of the brand that they play. And if they win on first down, they're able to play cover 2, Tampa on second down, and you can't have success moving the ball, right? You're going to have a hard time creating explosives when they're too high, right? And what's that mean? You got to run the ball and be effective on first down. You got to be able to run the ball on second and long. And at times we did that. I think we started off the second half, 3 series, three scores, right? And that's what we got to do. I think same thing defensively. We started off second half, 3 stops, but ultimately we didn't get enough stops there at the end. We got the win, but that's not our expectation.
According to Bill Conley, they ranked the unbeaten teams following week 3. Oregon still comes in at number 1. Odds of reaching 12-0 per the SP Plus are 10.4%. And then just noted it was a little bit of a sluggish start, and they ended up going away, and it was never in doubt. I think to your last segment point, like Ohio State struggling with the Bobcats, I was really rooting for that guy to have changed his name to Bobcats.
That was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter.
Penn State. And I think there's an element of Penn State, and I'm not excusing Penn State being up 10-0 against FIU and Villanova.
Their care level is so low because they're not getting challenged.
Because they're not ready until Oregon. I think that's where that is. I know A&M did their stuff. Texas, as you mentioned, right? Ole Miss barely survives Arkansas and Talon Green.
But the backup quarterback, too.
Yeah, they did. I think to your point, though, it's just you're still... You might still be the best of all these teams. We got to continue to wait and see on that part. But it's not like all the other teams are going out there and dominating 60-0 every single week. It just largely feels like college football is in a state where the top-end teams are all in a big group, and they're all kind of doing the same stuff.
I mean, find me a year in which a team went undefeated to win a national title and they beat everybody by 50 to 60 points. It just doesn't happen. You're going to have games, again, they were up 34-0 with 5 minutes to go. So part of this is almost comical to me of like, is this a challenge or is this a problem?
I actually think, not to interrupt you, but I actually think I'd make the counter argument to any of the narrative-based stuff that exists because the internet's always going to freak out about everything.
Sure.
I would actually say that might be as poor as they play all year. Now, hold that for Penn State week. That might be as poor as they play all year.
Yeah, could be.
And you never once in your head were like, oh, my God, you were like, oh, they're only up 7-0. They're going to win this game going away.
Yeah.
And they did.
It was 17-0 at the half, 34-0 in the fourth quarter. I also, maybe it's just my DNA sometimes with a program that I trust and who's won at a high level for a long time now. I look at some of these games and I point out some of the specifics. Like I mentioned Dante in the last segment at the end of the first half. I thought he made some incredible throws in third and long situations. I don't even know how many third downs they've had in their first 2 games, dude. They were scoring touchdowns on like every other play. So it's never like he hasn't even been in that situation yet. So it was nice to see him be in those moments. I think you make an argument. Now, I know Noah Whittington didn't play this weekend, and he's been awesome through 2 games.
They clearly sat him because you don't need him to win this game.
I think you can make the argument De'Aaron Hill might be the best running back on your team, man. That guy is a freak athlete, and when you got him in the open field down the sideline, that touchdown run was so sweet to start the second half. because it was two true freshmen next to each other in the backfield. It was Davidson blocking for De'Air Hill, who took it for a 66-yard touchdown. He had the reverse touchdown last week that they designed to play for him. Like, he's a guy who they're going to get involved in the offense.
Yeah, that room is stacked.
And it was awesome to see him have a run like that. I know that the numbers don't necessarily jump off the page, and I think it's just simply because of the way games have gone and the volume of looks that he's getting. But when they throw DeCorian Moore the ball, he absolutely looks the part of a game-changing number one wide receiver. And so I thought he had some more incredible catches this week. He had one along the sideline that I'm sure he wanted back. That was would have been a tough contested catch. They got knocked out at the last second, but you could tell. I mentioned Dante in the third downs and those uncomfortable game situations. Who did he go to on multiple third downs on that drive? DeCorian Moore was his go-to guy, and he found a way to get open, and he ran good routes. And so there's little things like that I'm just picking apart. I think your young secondary continues to play well. They were not tested at all this weekend because Preston Stone sucks, but I thought they played well whenever they were challenged. And so there were moments that I like to highlight of some of the young guys especially who are continuing to play, because that's the exciting thing about Oregon this year. I think we made this argument going into the year, and it felt like they peaked in week 2. But in reality, this is a team with so much youth that's going through this for the first time that I would argue they're only going to get better as the season goes on.
It's crazy to see Kenyon Sadiq sit and Jamari Johnson comes on and catches. You go, oh my God, they have another guy just as big as that guy.
Yeah. Not quite as athletic, but he's pretty good.
Third down efficiency for Oregon, because you mentioned that. They were 7 for 11 on third down.
That's the thing. Like, I go back to this. They went 3 and out on their opening drive. Or not 3 and out, excuse me. They punted on their opening drive. And then second possession, touchdown, third possession, field goal, fourth possession, touchdown, fifth possession, touchdown, sixth possession, touchdown. And then Dante threw the pick into the win.
The only thing I would say from a negative standpoint on Dante, 16 to 20 for a tud and a pick. Heisman narrative. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
what are we doing? Get your ass to New York.
Go to Penn State, though, and put on a show, man.
He actually threw.
It'll
Change. Yeah, I mean, who's the guy running away with the Heisman right now? There isn't
Mateer.
really one. Yeah,
Probably Mateer.
Mateer.
He had a great game.
He did. Mateer should be the front runner because he's got a marquee win under his belt too.
Mm-hmm.
There were multiple throws this weekend where I was like, God, that was impressive. He had one rolling out along the sideline to Benson. He had one where he kind of escaped pressure and threw it back across his body to DeCorian Moore.
Yeah,
Like
the TD throw to Sadiq.
the touchdown throw to Sadiq up the seam.
Yeah.
Like he had multiple throws where you're like, yep, that's that arm talent that everybody's raving about.
Ducks win by 20, never in doubt against Northwestern. And to our point, probably exactly what Dan Lanning would want going into an Oregon State week and then getting ready for Penn State in 2 weeks. Ducks 3-0, and I don't know where they're at in the AP, but none of that matters. They're in
Sixth.
They're 6?
Number 6.
They fell 2 spots.
Who jumped? Miami jumped them. They got them ranked
and
win.
Georgia
their
jumped
second
them
ranked
after
win.
their wins over ranked.
Yeah,
Okay.
Georgia went on the road.
Who else is ahead of them?
Ohio State, Penn State, LSU.
Oh, yeah.
Penn State just getting the
I love that.
just stay at number 2.
I would love this if I was a Duck
And
fan.
the number of people who are still voting them number 1 in their poll when they have looked lethargic in all 3 of their games.
Can't pass the football against anybody.
No.